Kelly Clarkson, who I consider to be the nicest celebrity I've ever met in my life,
Ditto.
over and over and over again. She's the most unaffected. She is just the most down to earth. So how did this woman, this celebrity specifically, divide the internet yesterday? It had everything to do with parents versus teachers. And if you're a teacher, I want to get your take on this. 1-855-BERT Show.
I'm not going to lie. I don't know when the school systems thought it would be a good plan for families and their emotional stability to start having performances at 10 a.m. during the week. This just in a lot of us work and surprising you with it. Like not giving you like an advance where you can at least tell your work, hey, I'm going to need this morning off, like to come in. Like, and a lot of jobs wouldn't let you do that anyway. But even if you're like the boss and you would have that control, our kids don't understand. And we just look like assholes when we're not there. And then they go, why was this mom there? And then you have to say, because that kid got a better mom.
Oh boy. So just to give credit where credit is due, that is from Not Gonna Lie with Kylie on Instagram. So she's like, when did this start? Like, I'm a working mom and now I got to go to school in the middle of the day. And if I don't make it, then my kids are looking at me like, where were you? And teachers were upset yesterday.
And honestly, I get why teachers are upset because I wouldn't want to work after hours without any pay either. But at the same time, I don't want to have to leave my job in the middle of the day and try and figure out what those arrangements are. And I'm lucky. I get to work in a really flexible work environment. I can't imagine somebody who doesn't, and then you have to miss your kid's performance every time. And my beef with schools is that they keep hosting things like this during the day that pull you away from your work. And in a perfect world, you'd be able to do that, but that's not how it's set up. So no, I don't have time for muffins with mom. Donuts with dad takes away as well. Like, it's stop giving me all this extra work and extra expectations. And I know it's optional, quote unquote, but then your kid does look at the other parents in the class and wonder why you're not there. And so you got to move heaven and earth in order to make it. And it's not like parents don't want to go do that stuff. It's just we have lives. But I think the divide, because I saw the comments, I read them. And it was teachers telling Kelly and Kylie to check themselves. Teachers are already underpaid. Mm-hmm. They already work contract hours. They don't get paid for after hours stuff. They've worked a long day on their feet and then they have to stay after hours for this performance. But my thing is, we're attacking each other and we should be looking at society and being like, why is society set up like this where it's so hard for working parents to support their kids? Why are teachers so underpaid? And what can we do to fix it? And the answer is let the children suffer and cancel their performances.
Here's Dalton. Hey, Dalton, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show.
Good morning. I understand from a parent standpoint, I'm constantly having to try to take off of work to meet my daughter's performance or award ceremony. This morning I took off because she has an award ceremony. Fundraisers, you just and then if you don't go, the kids are crying at your feet why didn't you come? And I understand the teacher standpoint too, but it's a lot as a parent because you look like a crappy parent when you were the only parent or one of the only parents who didn't make it.
Appreciate you calling.
And your jobs.
Yeah, no. I get it. I totally get it. Here is Devin, who totally disagrees. Hey, Devin.
Hey, I am coming from the teacher standpoint. And, it's really when else are we going to do these things? There's enough going on the weekends for the families and for us teachers. That's when we try to get all of our lives done. So it's kind of a lose-lose on both ends.
And that's what I took away from it. There's no winning situation here because something's going to have to give for somebody. And I was curious as far as the percentages. And, 74%, and just talking about mothers here, but both parents. I think this applies to moms and dads because I do believe now more than ever, dads are very hands-on as opposed to, previous generations. And they want to be there for donuts with dad and see the Christmas pageants and things of that nature. But 74% of mothers are now in the working force, and the other percentage identifies as stay-at-home mom. So a majority of parents are in the workforce. But as I read through the comments, like Cassie, I get it. As teachers who are grossly underpaid, and this is why we do the teacher wish list every year because they're coming out of pocket to pay for supplies, we shouldn't expect them to have to, work after hours for no additional pay. And then a teacher brought up another good point because this is not black and white. This is so layered and nuanced. Another teacher brought up a point that there are kids that if they don't do it during the day, those kids don't get to participate because there's no way for them to get back to the school and to get a ride. So you have to think about that aspect of it. And, and as a full-time working mom, I do feel, and maybe this is me misremembering, but I would love to know from older generation moms, was this much asked of you when your kids were in school? Because I feel like every week there is something. And I'm like, can't we just send these kids to school?
That's my issue. I'm like
I want to do stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like every single week it's something.
Well, aren't you like dealing with your own guilt in a case like that? I mean, you can't do everything, but you want to. But isn't this you just wrestling with yourself?
This is why I told you the other day, there's no such thing as having it all. There just isn't. Like something is going to give. Something's going to give, and it's either going to give at work because you're going to have to call out for work, or it's going to give that you're going to have to miss whatever's going on at your kid's school.
So I can't speak to the older parents, but I can speak to somebody who went to elementary school, 20 years ago, and I do not remember my parents being asked to do this kind of stuff. So I don't know if this is like a city kid thing, like the city kids want to do more things with their parents, but like all the performances we had were on the weekends. Like if we were in a school play, it was on Friday or Saturday night. And we definitely didn't have muffins with mom because if she missed that, I would have remembered it and held it over her head till this day.
And it's not just the school performances. It's even stuff like we just celebrated Dr. Seuss Week. And I got to give it to like teachers. It's such a creative way to make school interesting for the kids. And I feel like that's what they're doing. But now I got to go out and buy all this stuff to make sure my kid can blend in with Dr. Seuss Week. And then I was talking to a dad who has 3 daughters. And so anytime this happens, he's got to buy 3 sets of everything so that they can participate. And I just feel like school used to be a place where kids would go to learn, and they still do. And, you learn about community and friendship, and there's so many other important skills that teachers give kids. But now it's also become, well, the parents, you are also, the room moms and the helpers, and we need you to fundraise for the school because we're underfunded, and we need you to come to this performance, and we need you to bring in cupcakes, and we need you to do snack time. And it's frustrating because there's so much load put on the parents, but also what are the teachers supposed to do? Like they need help. But unfortunately, the help should be coming from somebody else, like the government, and not relying on working parents to stop their lives in order to make schools function properly.
All right, Ashley, you're a teacher, so I want to read this comment to you before we get your input on it. So this one says, so the teachers are paid contract hours, and while they love your children, they don't want to work for free. That's what you guys are asking them to do in the evening. Someone wrote, music teacher here. I don't get paid to be at school at night. Our performances are at 1:00. If they want them at night, they better pay me more. Do you agree with that?
I think that's such a funny argument because teachers work non-contract hours almost every day. Almost every day. The amount of time that I work unpaid is, because we're teaching for the whole day, and then everything else that has to happen to make everything go and for your kids to learn, that has to happen when the kids aren't in the room. So that's not an argument. But my thing is, guys, it's all about the kids. It really is. Like, there are no teachers trying to cheat out of working for free. We're already doing it. If we don't have it during the school day, then there are some kids that get left out because they can't get back because there's not bus service. So it's as simple as that. It's all about the kids, and it always is all about the kids. And I just wish people would step back and realize, we're not doing this for money.
Thank you for calling. I think we all know that.
Yeah, if you're going into the teaching field, we don't think you're doing it for the cash.
You're doing it to get rich.
You don't have to say that. I'm going to take one more call because this is Kristen, who is a teacher and a mother. What a great perspective. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, good morning. One thing I want to touch on is a lot of times we do performances during the day to ensure that all the children can be there because parents also work in the evenings, and treating children back to the school for evening performances and, events and things is also tricky and leads to kids being left out. And also, as a parent, do I have to tell my kid that I'm the bad mom because I had to stay after school to do this performance and I missed their performance, their soccer game? their time at the dinner table. So I agree with Cassie that like this is a societal issue, but that's not an easy fix. And so we are going to have these arguments until we can actually get something moving and make some real changes. But I mean, we're asking like which one of us is going to be the one to miss the time with our family is how that's boiling down.
Yeah.
It literally feels like a no-win situation.
Yeah, I think this falls under my favorite cliche of all time, which is the grass is brown everywhere. All right? It's not green anywhere else.
The Bert Show.